That night, no one in Ukam slept. Not even the elders. The forest had claimed Kemdelim once more, and the whole village felt the weight of Adeabi's failure. But no one blamed her. Even Chief Ugana wept. Mama Ik had returned to her compound. She was not seen again that night. But the red cloth she gave Adeabi, whatever lay within, glowed softly on Adeabi's mat. She hadn't opened it. She couldn't. Her heart pounded every time she touched it. And then, as the moon sank behind the hills, the drums began. Not the festive drums of marriage or harvest. These were deep, slow, ancient. They did not come from human hands. The sounds rolled down from the hills and echoed into the valley like a heartbeat from the underworld. Children cried in their sleep. Goats broke loose and ran mad through the night. Birds circled without rest. In the shrine, the village priest fell to the floor, shivering. "The ancestors are angry," he cried. "Something sacred has been broken." By morning, the trees around the village had started shedding their leaves, even though it was not the season. The stream turned brown. And on the wall of Chief Ugana's compound, drawn in ash and blood, were the words. She looked back. Adeabi finally unwrapped the red cloth. Inside was a small carved statue, two women, holding hands, but one had no face. A note was tucked beneath it in delicate handwriting. "Place us beneath the old kola tree before the next moon. Choose one, forget her, or bring her back and lose yourself. Time is short." Adeabi carried the statue to Mama Ik's hut. "Tell me what it means," she cried. The old widow emerged from the shadows. Her eyes were tired, her voice calm. "The statue is a choice. Memory and soul are tied together. To bring Kemdelim back, you must give up all memory of her. She will live. But to you, she will be a stranger." Adeabi's voice trembled. "And if I choose the other?" "You will keep your memories," Mama Ik said. "But she will remain in the forest, forgotten by time." Adeabi sank to the ground. Mama Ik placed a hand on her shoulder. "We all carry a burden. The question is, which weight can you live with?" That night, the drums grew louder. The sky turned a sickly purple. And under the kola tree, two shadows watched as Adeabi dug a hole with trembling hands. In the days that followed, Ukam seemed trapped in a waking dream. Birds no longer sang at dawn. The market grew quieter. Some villagers even began packing to leave. They spoke of moving to nearby towns, away from the cursed hills and restless trees. But Adeabi remained. So did Mama Ik. One afternoon, while sitting beside the kola tree where she had buried the statue, Adeabi's grandmother, Mama Urenma, came to sit beside her. She had never spoken of the widow before. Not once. But today, her voice was heavy with secrets. "Long ago, Ukam was not silent," she began. "It was full of music and joy. The forest was our friend, not our fear. The drums you now hear were once used to call blessings, not warnings." Adeabi turned toward her. "What changed it?" Mama Urema sighed. "The curse came when love defied law." She told her of a young maiden named Ekema, the true name of the widow. She had been the daughter of the last chief before Ugana's line. Ekema fell in love with a man from the Forbidden Hill tribe, the ones who spoke with spirits and lived with shadows. They met under the kola tree, where they carved promises into bark. When the elders found out, they forbade the union. Said it would bring imbalance. But Ekema refused to let go. So one night, under the red moon, they tried to flee. But the spirits of the land, angered by betrayal, rose and tore her lover from this world. Ekema returned alone. And in grief, she gave herself to the spirits, binding her soul to the boundary between the village and the forest. Her gift. To protect the balance, even if it meant being feared, even if it meant living forever alone. "So Mama Ik, she's not just a widow?" Adeabi asked. Mama Urema nodded. She is the watcher. The keeper. Her mourning is eternal. Adeabi stared at the ground. Why didn't you ever tell me this before? Because children weren't meant to carry such stories, Mama Urema said softly. But now, you're part of it. And you must decide, will you carry the sorrow or end the cycle? That night, the villagers gathered at the square once more. The statue Adeabi buried had cracked open. From it rose smoke shaped like two women holding hands. One vanished into the wind. The other remained, staring at Adeabi. Mama Ik approached silently. The choice is almost due, she said. The spirits are watching. Adeabi nodded. Her voice steady, even as tears streamed down. I will bring her back. And I will forget her. Mama Ik touched her cheek. Bravery is not always loud. Sometimes, it is silent surrender. The drums stopped. The sky cleared. But as Adeabi went home that night, she felt an empty space in her chest, like a name she used to know but couldn't remember. And far away, a little girl woke in her mother's arms, asking, "What is my name again?" The weeks that followed were strange. The village returned to some form of quiet. The birds began singing again. The stream cleared. Children played near the edges of the market square. It was as though the evil had passed. And yet, something remained broken. Nkemdilim, who had been returned to her family by the mysterious hands of fate, did not remember anything. Not the forest. Not Adeabi. Not even her own mother. She walked through the house as though it belonged to someone else. She spoke softly, as though unsure of her own voice. But the strangest thing of all was that she began to draw. Every morning, she would sit on the floor with pieces of charcoal and broken tiles and draw on the mud walls of the house. Circles. Eyes. Trees with roots like hands. A woman with silver hair standing under the moon. Her mother, troubled, called for the village priest. She is possessed, one elder muttered. But Mama Ik came before any cleansing could begin. She entered the family's compound without knocking. Her eyes fell on Nkemdilim, and the little girl stood still, as though she recognized something in the old woman. Mama Ik sat beside her, took her hand gently, and whispered, "Do you know me?" Nkemdilim blinked slowly, then nodded. "You were the shadow in my dreams." The villagers gasped. Mama Ik smiled softly. "Then your spirit remembers what your mind cannot." That night, Nkemdilim asked her mother for a candle. She lit it herself, placed it by the window, and stared into the flame. The next morning, a single word had been written on the floor of her room, in dust, as though drawn by a finger. Adeabi. Her mother rushed to the chief with the message. But Adeabi no longer remembered Nkemdilim. She greeted her like a stranger, kindly but without recognition. Still, Nkemdilim continued to write the name. Over and over. In her drawings. On leaves. In sand. As though clinging to something slipping away. Then, one morning, she vanished again. No doors opened. No sounds were heard. Only a trail of drawings leading to the kola tree. At the base of the tree was a small pouch. Inside it, a note. She walks between the words now. Memory is a rope. And love, the knot that holds it. Do not cut it. Mama Ik stood silently in the clearing when the villagers arrived. She will return again, she said. But this time, it will not be by my hand. Adeabi, watching from a distance, felt a single tear roll down her cheek. She didn't know why she cried. But deep inside, something had begun to stir. A name. A face. A laugh that echoed in the wind like a forgotten song. The forest had grown thicker. Please subscribe.